Yeah, quick question before we get into the pod. Like, if you were an animal, like, what would you be?
If I was an animal,
Yeah, what would you be?
probably like a dog for like a rich white family.
That's your spirit animal.
Yeah, that's probably a rich white family's dog. That's probably pretty cool.
I'm dead.
Bam. You watch anime, right?
No, I've never seen a single anime ever in my life, man.
You never seen a single anime?
And this isn't anime, so is Avatar an anime? Does that count?
I mean, I think it depends on how you define anime. If it's talking about like, made in Japan or maybe by a Japanese person, it's anime.
Yeah, like if the person is made in Japan and they make it, if they make the anime somewhere else, is it anime?
So you were born Japanese,
Right.
moved to, I don't know, Zimbabwe,
Right.
and make art, a comic book. Is it a manga or is it anime?
A argument could be said as manga, but just a little bit far removed, right? Because like people that are like international, right?
Yeah.
They come over here, and let's say they find family and they have a child here. That kid is still considered Japanese, right? Just like how we still consider ourselves like Jamaican.
Yeah.
Well, we're not necessarily like we don't live and breed in Jamaica,
Yeah. So, if my great grandpa was Japanese,
right?
And I made.
Yo, guys, it's early. It's early for me and Dr. Griffs right now. We're still loading in, but how you guys doing, man? Hey, welcome back to the pod. We have another episode today, man. But yeah, I do watch anime. I do watch anime.
Okay. What have you been watching this year?
So for this year, I haven't really dived into anything particularly too new. There's some series that like I've gotten back into, but right now I'm pretty focused on Blue Lock. I'm still catching up on Chainsaw Man. I'm still catching up on Bleach. Like there's like a lot of anime that like are finishing up. Like Bleach, this part finished up. Chainsaw Man, this season finished up. So Chainsaw Man is something that like I'm taking time to get into because I also want to do live reactions to it. And Bleach, I've been enjoying that. Vinland Saga is back, and I have mixed feelings about Vinland Saga, and maybe we'll get into that as we talk more about it. And I've been getting a little bit more into webtoons lately. A little bit more into webtoons, actually.
When you say webtoons, what you talking about?
Okay.
I just need some ads sometime. Like which one you talking about?
Yo, those ads help pay for the actual good content on it. But there's this I think you'll really like this, Doctor. There's this webtoon called Ordeal. I don't know if you heard of it, but basically the whole world or the whole geographical location, everything happens in Trinidad. Right, and you just have you basically have typical kind of like anime tropes. You have this world where like a lot of people are born with powers, right, and then they have to like figure out how to deal with these people with these powers. It kind of has a little bit of the X-Men kind of feel to it, but it's very inspired by anime, and it's just a bunch of just beautifully drawn black characters. With a lot of Caribbean features, and they have all these powers and everything. I'm telling you, man, once you look at the artwork of it, you're going to be like, whoa, Ordeal. How come I've not been looking this up?
Message me this information after we're done.
Oh, yeah.
So you saying is it a manga, or is it like, wait?
Like it's structured like a manga, but webtoons typically, or webcomics typically have color to it. So,
yeah.
So I'm telling you, bro, once you see the screenshots of how these characters look, you're like, hold on. This is how you do black characters correct. And there's also also is I believe the author of the series is of Caribbean descent, and yeah, he's doing a pretty good job. I like the story so far. It's not the most complex story like Attack on Titan or something like that, but I think the story is strong enough for me to follow the characters and fall in love with the world and enjoy the power system of it ordeal. Like, so that's one I'm really into right now. Yeah.
Interesting. I actually never heard that. That sounds actually pretty cool. What I would say is Bleach. I think I watched that in one night.
Yeah, that's very doable for sure.
It was beautiful. Like I wasn't a fan of like Bleach fight scenes when it was like just Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece.
Naruto
like
always had the best fight scenes.
Yes. Bleach had some of the best character designs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Consistent character design and some of the coolest looking characters. You know, One Piece is just, it was really mid to me, to be honest with you. Like
One Piece
fight scenes.
Okay,
fight scenes bad.
I'll say this. You're right. The fight scenes trash for One Piece. In the past, now we're in the time where it's like, ooh, we're getting that sauce. But I'll say One Piece has always had the most creative fight scenes, right? The most like how is this fight even happening? Like if a giraffe man had to fight a 3-sword wielding samurai, how would that fight look? And then I was like, oh yeah, the giraffe man would probably swing his neck at that person.
Yeah, I would say One Piece had the most creative fights. Because even the powers are, you know, like Luffy with his stretching and everything like that. But Bleach, the fight scenes was always so boring to me. It's like very formulaic. Okay, slash. Someone loses an arm. Someone looks like they died. They didn't die. Slash. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And then blast, a Kamehameha, another Kamehameha, and then that's the fight scene. And Suga Tensho.
You know, I will say that's why I felt like the Ranka arc hit, like in terms of the combat, hit a lot more for me, because they were fighting off against enemies that oftentimes didn't use the typical swords, because it kind of gets like that when I agree with you completely. When you have like two swordsmen fighting in anime, Bleach often goes that old school Dragon Ball Z route, where it's kind of like, these characters are moving so fast you can barely see them, and bling, 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 and shing, 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 shing. I cut you. Oh snap! You barely cut my eye. I have a little cut there. You know, I do think Bleach has certain characters, like when there's Zanpakuto, like, you know, goes to Shikai or goes to Bankai, it changes things up. I think that's why I enjoy like Renji, because Renji, like his weapon visually changes like how the fight should go. It basically looks like a whip, and then it becomes like this giant skeleton snake thing that you have to deal with. So it changes the flow of fighting a bit too. But yeah, it does get kind of tedious. But the new season
different. How far are you in the new season?
So I just got up to the part where we're going through Ichigo's parents' backstory a little bit. So we're seeing his mom, that's also a Quincy, and then like his dad, that's the Soul Reaper captain. Yeah, so it got to that part. So I just finished the part where Kenpachi fully awakens, like he removes all of his limiters to be truly Kenpachi. And the whole Zanpakuto system is super interesting to me too. Like, yeah, like I like how I always felt like when it came to the authors of like the big three, Oda was the best, and then it was kind of like I do believe Kishimoto was kind of better in terms compared to Kubo. All of them do amazing work, obviously. But I do feel like sometimes Kubo's writing style kind of, he puts things in later, and then you're like, oh, this is how the world's always been? Okay. Oh, the reason why Ichigo was able to body Kenpachi the first time is because Kenpachi he just subconsciously holds himself back all the time.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this season of Bleach, Yamamoto's fight, top tier.
Whew, that's a beautiful. That's like on that Demon Slayer beauty level. Like that was just art. That was just art.
I do think, like, I know for the plot he had to go like that, but I do think he would be doing too much of his Bankai too quickly. You know what I'm saying? He said east, then north, then west, then south, or whatever order.
Yeah,
like, way too quick. He could let some things last a little bit longer.
And that's and that's one of my, actually it's weird, but that's a little bit one of my issues with this current season, is that certain parts, and maybe because I'm comparing it to the old version of Bleach, but certain things feel like you could add a little bit more padding in, like that fight as well, like hyping up this character a little bit more, you know, throughout the fight and giving more backstory to it so we can connect more. But also when Renji and Ichigo were in that pit and they had to like fight these things to have them respect them and get their Zanpakutos and everything, we totally skipped that. We totally skipped that whole thing. Back in the day, whenever Ichigo was put into a pit or a training area, we would have like an episode or two dedicated to like Ichigo's psyche in terms of like the hidden meaning behind why he's doing this thing, and we get some kind of understanding of why he's going to this training. But literally through Renji and Ichigo in the pit, next scene we just see Ichigo and Renji kind of bloody, and then Renji passes how, and then Ichigo doesn't pass, and we're like how, and then this character, which I love his design, he's a cool character, literally says like, yeah, you don't know yourself enough, be gone.
True. Like, to talk about a whole difference or seasonal shift, Vinland Saga. Season 1 of Vinland Saga was like, how would you describe season 1 of Vinland Saga?
I'm a fake Berserk fan. You know, I don't read Berserk because I don't want to have to call a therapist. So I feel like, based on what people told me about Berserk, Vinland Saga is like Berserk light. You know, it's like I could dip my toes into that despair and sadness through Thorfinn. And season 1, great fights. I felt like they had a good pace between action and like just dialogue and politics. While not making the story too big, they kept it pretty condensed to what Thorfinn was experiencing. Man, so many great characters in season 1 too, like Askeladd. Such a just like, you can't hate him, you know. Such a like, you can't hate him kind of character. I'm always a big fan of that straightforward, strong, idealistic characters. So Thor's was cool, and then of course Thorkill was always freaking enjoyable to watch all the time. So yeah, I love season 1. Season 2, I know some people about to say I'm uncultured, bro, but we could go a little bit faster, bro. We could go a little bit faster, bro. I don't want to see my boy Thorfinn get his ear chopped off. And him not do a react. We could go a little bit faster, bro. We could go a little bit faster.
It's a build-up. I mean, you know, they use the slave word left and right. I felt a little uncomfortable watching that.
I'm like, fight back, bro! Fight back!
It's interesting seeing this depiction of slavery throughout history, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like his reaction makes sense. Yeah.
Break it down to me. What's your interpretation of Thorfinn's mental state right now as of season 2, episode 3? Because that's what we're up to right now.
I don't know how much time has passed between season 1 and season 2. Did they ever say that?
No, they don't specify that. I assume it's years, and I think whether it be 3, 5, it doesn't matter narratively. Yeah. So I guess that's why I never expressed it.
So probably it looks like at least 5-ish years or so, right? And I was rewatching some part of season 1s of Vinland Saga. So Thorfinn had been with Askeladd for like at least a decade.
Yeah.
And according to him, his waking moment, his dreams, was all about taking out Askeladd.
Yeah.
That's been his one goal for a whole decade. I feel like, I ain't no psychologist, but I feel like it's like a little bit like Stockholm a little bit, you know what I'm saying, from my understanding of it.
There's a level of like, okay, you're out of respect and love for your father, and what happened there, you develop this hatred that gets you locked in. But then I think your rationale after the years slowly starts creeping into you, saying like, yo, this guy knows I want to kill him, yet he just keeps me around here. He prevents these creepy other dudes. He prevents these creepy other dudes in his party from trying to, R-word me. Because you already know why wouldn't they do that? You know, it's like it was around those times that people were acting weird and sus and stuff. And trained me, you know what I mean? Like gave me tips and lessons, even though it was like not the most ideal, and like there's probably times where Askeladd was like, Thorfinn hasn't eaten in 3 days. Throw him a piece of bread and see what happens, you know. But Askeladd did kind of function as that father figure to Thorfinn, and I think Askeladd is such an interesting character because he respected Thor's a lot. He's like, we're in this position where I have to kill you because that's what this thing is about. But I respect you, and since you told me like, yo, spare your kid, I'm gonna do my best to spare your kid. You know, I gotta say, face with my men, so I'm not going to act like no, bro, leave Thorfinn alone because Thor said that. He was like, no. He had to do it his own particular way to stay face with his men and stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know. Thorfinn looked like at moments, because even when a spoiler alert, at the end of season 1, Askeladd gets killed, right?
Yeah. Not by Thorfinn, which sucks.
Not by Thorfinn.
Yeah.
And he looks devastated by it, understandably. Because he wants his revenge, but I feel like he also kind of, in some twisted way, had like a kinship.
Yes.
Dare I say, love.
Love is a strong word, but definitely. No matter what, I think there was definitely a level of deep respect that Thorfinn built for Askeladd, and it was that's what makes it so amazing, because it's just like so many weird feelings are wrapped up in that situation with Thorfinn that it's like he was kind of eating poop either way. You know, it's like either he forgets his father and just be like, I'm gonna just work with Askeladd because he's my new dad now. Then he's got to deal with the fact that like he just disrespected his father's whole life, and like I let this guy get away with it. Or the reverse, which is Padu's on, kill Askeladd, but basically disregard 10 years of this guy basically doing so kind of job of being a father to me, you know.
Sunk cost fallacy, huh?
Yeah, it's weird, man. Weird.
I mean, like, I think love and hate are such extreme emotions to have towards someone. That's like this.
True.
It's kind of close in a way. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
Close. Like, there's a lot of the similar physiological responses. The same physiological responses you may get from like intense love for a person is some of it matches up to intense hate for the person. So.
If we had a Venn diagram, love and hate, and the responses, you know, it might be
in the middle right there.
Yeah. So he had that sort of feeling for Askeladd, and that's been his sole purpose for the last decade of his life. And then it was stolen right in front of him.
Yeah, true.
So like, what else does he have? He doesn't have. I think they saw that his sister or his mom either died or they got sick or they stopped looking for him. But they're all the way over there. You don't know how to get back over there.
Yeah.
We know he tried to assassinate the prince, and the prince, then king, was like, he let him be alright. He'd be okay.
Yeah.
So he probably was just like a homeless vagabond.
True.
I don't know if that's the right word. Just like going from place to place until he got captured and was like, whatever.
Like he just gave up on fighting because I could see why he would lose his purpose for it. I guess it's just because in season 1, Dorfin had multiple routes he could have taken after Askeladd. In terms of like a main character, right? It's like he could have gone back to his home village to see what was left. He could have gone to the fabled Vinland. He could have gone to the fabled place, the name of the show place. He could have gone to that and tried. He could have explored what his dad was talking about in terms of what it means to be an actual warrior. So to me, he had a couple different routes he could have gone down to do it. And knowing like how savage Dorfin is, like give this man like a splinter, and everybody in episode 3 would have been deleted, bro. It's like it does like give this man a splinter and Fox. I'm like, what's your problem? So I don't know. It's like seeing from season 1, seeing the capacity that Dorfin had, and seeing like literally, he's in this situation because he's not forced in that situation. That's the thing about it. It's like we see all these guards with their swords and everything, but it's Dorfin. We seen him go against Thorkill in season 1. These guards are level 2 mobs to him. It's like me being a level 55 character, and I drop my level 55 character into like a field with like level 5 goblins, and I just let them just cut me, and I go AFK. Like he went AFK, bro. That bothers me, bro. That bothers me. But from Soy's perspective, I can understand his mental state, why he's there. I can understand.
I'm definitely looking forward to the comeback when he like starts valuing his life again. I'm assuming that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Like I don't think I would continue watching the show if it's just like Dorfin chops 3 trees down today. Progression.
Well, I hope they kind of showed us a little bit longer. I don't want like next episode he's like, yes, and now I want to live. I hope they kind of,
yeah,
like what we were talking about the Yamamoto fight. Like it all happened too fast. I hope they kind of.
Oh, like to me, it feels like we're taking. I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't like seeing Dorfin in this position. Actually, like I think when it comes to just anime in general or shows in general, you know, that the slave bit kind of irritates me a little bit. I'm like, yo, fold these guys, bro. Fold them. Especially when I know he has the capacity to fold them, bro.
Fair. Understandable. But I think also because we're watching this on a weekly basis,
right?
It feels like it's been forever. Like if we binge watched it and like the first 4 episodes he's just like this, it'd be like, oh, okay.
True. Yeah. That
the
is
whole
so
month
true.
He's still in bondage. So it's like, yo, why you it's taking a long time.
That's so true. This is side conversation, but what do you prefer? Do you prefer, because we used to live in kind of 2 realities before. We used to live in a reality where anime only was experienced once per week. You know, like every new episode be like, all right, come on guys, let's watch it. And then you may go back to school and talk to your boys about the episode, and you know, like come up with your own fan fiction and all that about the episode, blah blah blah. But now we live in a time where you're more likely to just like finish everything in one go. You know, what do you prefer? Like for you personally, do you like that binging of like, okay, all of the seasons is available, wow, or that weekly?
I think I like the binging in the sense that I can just watch everything at once. But I feel as if, like even with the Bleach, I watched like all 12 episodes in one night or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't really remember the episodes individually. I think something about having to wait for each week makes you remember it or appreciate it more.
Yeah. So yeah, I was thinking about this because I also think about it from the perspective of being a live reactor. From a live reactor's perspective, in terms of viewership and engagement, the weekly stuff is way better, right? In terms of people, because like once people binge through a series, they're not really, unless the series is really bomb and banging, and they have certain creators they really enjoy watching, they'll watch those episode to episode. But most people, once they binge through a series, they might go for like a whole, just look at like reviews of the whole series in total, maybe some explained videos about concepts from it, and then they're pretty much done with the series in a week, and it just disappears, right? So like, I think in general, as a reactor and as just a fan, I think I prefer the weekly for most things. Like I have no problem binging through something, like if it's an old series that no one's really talking about anymore. But episode to episode, I kind of like it for more the community aspect of it. Where it's like after the episode, it's like you have no choice but to watch other live reactors, comment down below, go on forums and talk about your theories and ideas about it. There's a lot more life to the anime, to the show itself, when it's weekly. But when you binge it, it's like it's like this explosive fire of hype that burns, but it only lasts for like a week because you binge a series in a day, and then you watch your videos about it for the next couple days, and then you're good. You know.
And it takes a long time to binge something. That's at least a 3-4 hour block time. So.
Yeah.
And kind of like you read manga, right?
Yeah.
Like I've been looking forward to it every week to see what happens next with My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Or One Piece, because like, okay, I know Thursday, Friday, you can probably start reading it.
Yeah.
From wherever, you know, or you wait till Saturday. But yeah.
Yeah, because I also like the content about the content too, right? So I love, especially when it comes to One Piece for me, every chapter, read that, and then literally right after the chapter, me and my little brother get on the phone and we start talking about like, yo, CP0 trash, aren't they, bro? CP0 kind of garbage, that's crazy. So we'll have those conversations, and then, you know, you'll have other YouTubers that you kind of pop in and watch and get their feedback on and stuff, and then you kind of go back and forth with friends about things, and then next week, and then you get like, oh, your theory was trash, or your theory was like kind of spot on, or all that. But I feel like once you get it all in one go, just like the hype for it dies. Like the hype, it burns crazy, but it just burns out super fast. And I like the hype to kind of like be good and last a long time.
I mean, and that's what even we see in these shows. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if Vinland Saga Season 1, on Episode 2, Askeladd died. We went through a whole, like, 13, or how many episodes? Like, 26, 13?
Yeah, about 26. About 26, man.
Went through 26 episodes, and then he dies. So, like, I think we just like seeing things spread out amongst time. And
yeah, I agree with that, man. But yeah, is there any other manga or shows that's kind of like on your radar that you're checking out right now? For yourself.
It's not a manga, but I've been watching The Last of Us.
Oh yeah, me too, bro. You play the game?
Yeah, I played both.
Yeah, so I played the first one. I didn't play the second one.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't play the second one. Yeah.
Just haven't gotten around to it?
Just haven't gotten around to it. I have to be in a very particular mood.
Yeah. For
post-apocalyptic shows, because if life is reflecting a little bit of those signs of a post-apocalypse, I don't feel like playing a post-apocalyptic like game or watching it, because I'm just like, it's a little too close to reality right now. Yeah. A little too close. But like when life is like really, really good, I'm like, okay, I need a little bit of despair. It'll be nice to taste some like, oh, struggling to survive. So
that's a wild thing to say.
Shout out to Alice in Borderland.
The Last of Us Part 2 was probably one of the most depressing games I ever played.
That's what I heard.
Like,
and I got spoiled. For it. So spoiler alert for the game that's been out for a minute. Joel dies, it's just like, what?
The whole game's just depressing. It's a really technically impressive game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good game, like gameplay wise, story wise, but it's just depressing. Like,
yeah,
you feel heavy after you playing that. You got I gotta read a book.
Gotta go hug the dog or something. You know?
I gotta go plant a tree. Like, it's just depressing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want to play games that makes me feel good. You know, like I want to.
That game does not make you feel good. It will not make you feel good.
And that's one of the most annoying things as like those like people that create content for people to absorb and appreciate is like one part you understand that this content was designed to invoke feelings of depression, anxiety, and fear in you. The other part is like they do it so masterfully that you're like, this is like you give it a rating of like this game's a 9 out of 10 because like the story, the gameplay, the experience. But then your soul is like, bro, this is a 3 out of 10 experience for me. Like your soul's a 3 out of 10 experience, but like you're looking at the technical thing of it and like the acting and the motion capture and all that, and you're like, yo, this is immaculate. So I always get torn with that because I'm like, you made this immaculate experience just to make me cry. Like,
right. But we're gonna talk about that more in another episode.
Oh yeah, true.
Hear more about The Last of Us and our thoughts about that. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below.
Nice transition. So yeah, guys, thank you guys for taking part and watching in this video. We really appreciate you guys. Of course, if you're interested in topics and things of this nature and you have ideas you want to share with us, leave a comment down below, like the video, subscribe if you want to see more. Also, if you want to see us on our own unique platforms doing our own particular things, those links will be in the description as well. This is Bam and Dr. Griffs. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.